2 lifelong friends, 1 local establishment. The hidden truth is out there, and we're going to talk about it. What happens in the bar no longer stays in the bar. This is Conspiracy Beerists.
Welcome to Conspiracy Beerists. Now, this time we sort of wanted to do something a little differently than we normally do on this podcast. We wanted to have a serious conspiracy conversation, but we wanted to mix in a little bit of fun too. So this episode, you're going to kind of hear us talk a little bit about some evil empires, evil entities, and we're kind of mixing in some fun little conversation along the way. So we hope you enjoy it and enjoy our conversation this week about, well, I guess the best way to put it is anything and everything. All right, so welcome to another episode of Conspiracy Beerists. This week we decided to do something a little differently. We're going to talk about what we think are some of the evilest entities throughout history. And we kind of did it in list format, but not really. I think it's just going to be a fun conversation. So, Brian, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hanging in there. Living the COVID dream.
Same here.
So,
a lot of crooked shit going on.
Do you have your mask on? Are you?
I always wear a mask.
So go ahead and shoot us one from your list.
One of the evilest entities. I would say current event-wise would be Nancy Pelosi. Evil. She's a career politician, and she's worth like $114 million. How does that happen?
I think you answered that with your statement saying she's a career politician.
Yeah. She's awful. She went against the wall. You know, she goes against everything Trump does. Not to get on the Trump bandwagon already, but... So she gets mad because he wants to build the wall. So she has a wall around her house.
Yeah, a lot of people have walls around their house, though.
I mean, like a fence, a gate, it's like a fortress. And she lives, I think she's San Francisco.
Well,
and her nephew is Newsom. That's California's governor, I think.
Right.
So he does whatever she wants him to do.
So do you think it's just her, or do you think it's all career politicians in general?
Well, probably all career politicians. They need to put limits on terms.
I agree with that.
There's no reason. Especially if it's just not working.
Yeah, but that's always debatable. But I don't argue with you one bit on term limits at all.
Right. The president gets 4 years, but she can stay forever.
Well, yeah.
And it was her that, in the beginning of this whole COVID thing, they say how bad that Trump treated this COVID virus, and she's in Chinatown saying, "Come to Chinatown and come see us." Like it was say, idiot.
Well, I went kind of more historical for the most part with mine, even though some of them are more recent, but one of them is the 50s and 60s. Well, actually, technically, you could go 40s too, but is the military-industrial complex that Dwight Eisenhower warned everybody about on his exit speech.
See, he warned everybody about it, but he was a Freemason too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And he wanted this stuff to happen, I thought. You know what I mean?
The warning was always assumed to be about how the military was trying to garner too much power.
Yeah.
More or less trying to take over, turn everything into a dictatorship or whatever word you want to use about it. Do
you think he made that speech to kind of cover his ass to the people? Like, because he was exiting, right? He was leaving, he was done.
Right, it was one of his last speeches he gave. But it could have been, I don't know.
It's weird.
Neither one of us are old enough to know what it was like when he was president, so we really can't speak on it, but we're going to anyways.
Yeah.
And I know it's all fictional, but I always go back to shows like the X-Files and stuff that always brought up the whole military and everything trying to control every aspect of everything. So that's what made me think of that one.
Oh, okay.
Whether
X-Files.
Yeah, you know me. I love that show.
Yeah. Right now, I'll say, I guess if we're going evil, we'll say the Democrats. Right now. Demon rats.
And why is that?
Yeah. Hillary mostly. Not all of them. Just the ones that speak the loudest. Hillary's still chirping. She's not relevant. You know?
No, she's not.
Stay home.
I mean, Bill hasn't been president in 20 years, so...
Right. And she's never been. It's just crazy how... And the kill list they have. Why is there a kill list? And why isn't it investigated ever?
I don't know.
Run the world? How can a woman be that powerful? You know what I mean? That everyone backs her up.
Well, I mean, if there is an Illuminati, which we're going to get to in a little while, I mean, there's your answer.
Oh, there's your little evil group, the Illuminati.
Well, it's just a it's a blanket term for controlling entity, but it's kind of got used. But
yeah, I think it was made popular by Da Vinci Code.
Right.
I think that's when it exploded, and then it made it to a Taco Bell commercial. The Illuminati or whatever.
So let me ask you, why do you think it's just the Democrats and not...
I don't think it's just Democrats. I think it's Hillary. I'll put her as the main evil one. She's the queen bee. Not Beyonce either.
You wouldn't give her a turn?
Yeah.
Said you wouldn't give her a turn?
Hillary?
Right.
Or Beyonce.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go both. Why not?
You go ahead and go both, man.
So there would be no would you like me to eat?
I think Beyonce's a little evil too, but she's like the queen of pop. So she can do whatever she wants. You remember when Kanye came out and said Taylor Swift wasn't as good as Beyonce's thing? It was, I can't remember what award it was. But they act like it was all like Beyonce was surprised, right? Well, she came, I think Taylor Swift might have been in a white outfit. I'm not exactly sure, but they claim that it was a ritual. It was a humiliation ritual, and after she got embarrassed or whatever they planned on, she came out later in a red dress and matched to Beyonce, and Beyonce's like, "Here, take the mic. You did great," whatever. So it was all a ritual. Isn't that crazy?
I don't know enough about finances and stuff to know how some of these artists get to be so powerful and huge and rich these days when they really...
Right, half of the Cribs shows were all fake, and like some of those houses weren't even theirs. You know what I mean?
I always wondered about that with Cribs.
Cribs, yeah.
So no, maybe that's an evil empire, MTV. I mean, look what
MTV is an evil empire, Dan. MTV, Masonic Television.
Hey,
they are actually in Canada. They are in the Masonic Temple of some city.
That's going to be another one of my choices. Is the Freemasons coming up?
Yeah, MTV or Canada?
Yes. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. So, what do you think? We'll backtrack a little bit. You mentioned term limits. What do you think the proper term limit would be for a senator or a representative?
Why not be the same as the president?
So what?
Why has it got to be
2 terms?
Term limit? Oh yeah, that, and yearly wise too. You know what I mean? 4-year term,
right?
Instead of infinity or whatever she is. She looks like she's that age.
I don't take issue with that one bit. I think, I mean,
she's awful. And all these stimulus packages that they are so proudly giving to us. Well, there's stipulations in those that are hidden from the public. Like, say the Democrats get a raise after he signs it or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well,
Fucking garbage.
I'm sure it's not just the Democrats that are getting...
I'm sure it is.
So the Democrats are going to get more money than Republicans. I can't see that flying.
No, I mean, like, get a raise, or they're raising their pay. I mean, I'm sure everybody gets or whatever, but... Right.
Oh, I'm sure there is, too. I don't doubt for a second.
Trump's the only president that doesn't accept paycheck, Dan.
Yeah, but he's getting money.
He doesn't need the money. He's a billionaire.
I know that, but they're all millionaires and billionaires.
But what's crazy, too? His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, Ivanka's husband.
Yep.
Before he got into politics or whatever, he was a real estate guy. Well, they purchased 666. Ah, shit, what road is that? In New York.
Fifth Avenue?
Huh?
Fifth Avenue? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is 666, something like that. One of those. But that's like, people are like, is he the Antichrist? What is that? 666 what? But yeah, it's just, I don't know. They're all, I don't know. I really don't. Who's your next one?
Well, we'll kind of stay semi-current, and I kind of clumped these all together, and it was just hate groups, and I went like neo-Nazis and Antifa. And
Antifa, for sure.
Yeah, so it's both sides of the political fence. It's liberals and conservatives. So why does everyone gotta hate so much? That's simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
we can hate
But
people.
even people don't get in trouble for it because they're on their side. George Soros, have you ever heard of him?
I have not.
Oh, that's a big name, Dan. He's like the money guy to try and destroy America. He was a Nazi, I think, but he helped the Nazis, but he's Jewish or something like that. Something crazy. But he's a big old guy with money that funds Antifa, and they go around just destroying shit, whatever they want to do, but then they blame the right side.
Oh, I don't cover up for them one bit because they're POSs, but
Yeah, they are a bunch of little pricks.
there's plenty of assholes on like the neo-Nazis too. Look at all the crap that and I don't understand. And I get in our country that everyone has the right to protest, but all these counter groups that are protesting at the protesters are just there to start trouble.
Oh, yeah. But then they'll start trouble. There's also, I can't remember, they're called the Proud Boys. Have you heard of them?
I have not. Who are they?
I think it's a group that is on the right side that's against the Antifa. You know what I mean? Like, they don't wear masks and shit. But
Right.
yeah, why doesn't Antifa wear masks?
I don't know. They're probably not smart enough to.
Maybe they knew COVID was coming. They did, because they're on that fucking side that fucking made it. It's 666 Fifth Avenue is Jared Kushner. That's his son-in-law owns it.
So
It's just been a money pit to them, I guess. They haven't been able to do anything with it.
So we did have the street right.
Yep, you did. Fine job, Dan. Point for you, buddy.
I'll pull a nugget out of my ass once in a while. So what's next on yours?
I just said George Soros was mine.
And tell me who he is again.
Oh, he's this old guy that funds Antifa and all the false flags and shit that go on around the world. Another thing, this person I talked to, they're like, "Hey, are you going to do Las Vegas shooting for our one of our shows or whatever?" And it's like, not too many people know what that means, know what that is, or remember. I mean, everyone knows that that country concert, something happened, but
Right.
one guy fucking shot all these people. Why is it always one person, one shooter? They always go for one shooter and everything.
It's called a fall guy. That's what it is.
They're a patsy.
Yeah, exactly. A patsy.
Rick Aldrich. I get a lawsuit.
Derek Aldrich or Rick Aldrich?
Dick Baldrich. But yeah, it's always when school shootings happen, there's always one guy, but there'll be other guys running, not necessarily Columbine. I mean, obviously there's two kids, but there's always somebody in the background running around, and they're like, "Who's that guy?" And nobody ever comes up with the answer. Like that Florida shooting. A school shooting where a bunch of kids came out and wanted to stop guns and all that shit.
Right.
Well, the kid was named Nicholas Cruz, I believe. And he was a misfit. He was like a... No, I ain't going to say that. He was like a misfit. And he had already been out of school. And he came back with an AR-15 and started peppering people. Well, this one chick, because I wasn't talking to the news afterwards, and she said she went up to him and talked to him. She's like, I thought it was you, the shooter. And he looked at her and goes, "Huh?" And so there was shooting down the hall, but they blamed this kid, right? Just like the Manchurian Candidate stuff. Like, they don't remember afterwards. And that Aurora, Colorado shooting, Joker. Well, that kid, his father was in mind control stuff. and they said that people said that they seen a guy on the phone in the front row or something, and then he walked to the front door where by the screen where you leave, you can't enter, but you can exit.
Right.
And they said he was talking on the phone, and he opened that door, and someone threw a smoke bomb in and started going to town. But everyone thought it was part of the show. And then he ends up going and sitting on the curb and waiting for the police to come. And then they say it's only one guy. Well, people kept saying that he had people with him, but they just won't go with it. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should do that for the next episode, is talk about all of the school shootings and mass shootings and whatnot. Do Las Vegas and that one. And
well, they say that, you know, it's crazy, dude. I just watched it last night. And they're all looking up at that one building. Shit, I can't remember. Mandalay Bay.
Right.
And they're like, they can't figure out where the shootings come from. Where this cop gets shot in the arm, and it goes in the back of his arm into his chest, he said. His first day on the fucking job, right? So then, this one guy's looking around, and he says that he sees these lights coming from the top. It says on the flight traffic website that there were no helicopters in the air. Well, there was fucking, you can watch the videos, and there's 4 or 5 of them flying around, where they see, like, the lights of the machine gun coming out, but nobody could figure out what's going on. But why is it hidden? I don't understand. Why is the narrative all like that? It's full of a bunch of Arabs doing some crazy shit.
Well, let's do that. Let's do that for the next one. We'll talk about all the shootings, Las Vegas and Florida and Colorado and all of those.
All right.
And we can dig deep into it.
So you can be schnook.
Right.
You can't say it.
Sure I can. Sandy Hook.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's the big one that started getting people like, what? Then they ever did.
I mean,
I
said Pizzagate on the last episode, and we didn't get taken off YouTube, so we must be all right.
The 3 people that watched it didn't fucking report it.
No, we actually have a pretty decent listenership, so we should be proud of that.
Oh, I'm proud. I'm a proud boy.
Well, you mentioned one I was going to say earlier, so we may as well tackle it now, and it was the Freemasons and the Illuminati.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
And the Freemasons have been this mystique shadow government / behind the scenes thing since way back in the pre-Bible times. So
yep.
Is it all mystique, or are they actually the Illuminati?
I don't know if they called it Illuminati back then, but they were, what was that fucking group of people? I'm sorry, dude, you know it's called, but where they got helmets on and they go and fight
Knights Templars.
Horses. Yes, the Templars. Good job, Vinny.
I have it on my sheet.
You got all types of nuggets up that ass. But then King James, I believe, I don't know if it's King James or not, but one of them kings took all the Templars, or thought it was all of them, and burned them or hung them or did something with them. And they thought they were all done, but there's a couple sneaky ones that ended up making the Illuminati from the Templars.
I had, you had mentioned the Da Vinci Code earlier, and the Templars were kind of part of my minuscule research for this. And it kind of blends into my last selection, and this might cheese some people off, but it is what it is. I mean, it's history. It's true. And you can include the Templars sort of into this, and it's the whole Catholic Church thing, how they've been controlling everything for the past 2,000 years.
Like the Pope, right?
Well, yeah, like the Pope, but then, I mean, you had the Inquisitions in the 14 and 1500s and how they've demanded for the Bible omit certain quote-unquote books of it. And
right. How do they... That's one of the things I don't understand about the Bible. Who has the right to say what goes in it? You know what I mean?
Well, it's the Pope and all the big rigs in the Catholic Church.
Right. But then, yeah. Pope. You know what they got? When COVID hit, they all of a sudden had 7... It was Italy, and Italy got hit hard, supposedly, right?
Right.
I was watching this one thing, and it was one of those things across the bottom. Says 7 Catholic priests die of COVID. Okay, those fuckers are crooked as shit over there. Now, if they wanted to ace a few of them bastards that are touching little kids or whatever, bringing too much heat, they probably, ace them just like Da Vinci Code, where that goofy-looking albino dude starts killing people. They're weird.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be like a modern-day Templar or something?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Me too.
I try not to watch any shit anymore for some reason.
Yeah, if it's not on YouTube, you don't watch it.
Yeah, right. Da Vinci Code's not on it.
So what else do you have on your list?
The Astros, then they just got busted cheating, right? Was it them?
Oh, you're not talking about the dog from the Jetsons?
What's that?
You're not talking about the dog from the Jetsons?
No.
Anyways, go ahead. The Astros.
Yeah. Didn't they get caught cheating?
Yes.
That's the ones?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking evil. Win a World Series, and did you hear how they did it?
I mean, I heard stuff how they were like beating garbage cans and stuff like that, but
yeah, you see, I think, damn it, I can't remember who it was, but they were bouncing the fucking bat up on top of the dugout when they were, and that meant something. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are ridiculous. It seems like it was that one turnip-looking dude that on the Astros that got in trouble for saying that Chinese guy's eyes.
Right. Well, that brings one up to me. Doesn't necessarily have to be evil empires, but what about
Colorado Avalanche?
Yes, exactly.
Dude, I've been watching the fucking Red Wings on YouTube, all the highlights back in the day.
Well, did you watch the Russian 5 documentary?
I haven't watched it yet. Is that on Netflix?
I know it's on Amazon. I don't know if it's on Netflix or not. It might be. It's pretty good, though.
Oh, it's on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got to watch it.
It's a pretty... There was stuff in that documentary that if I knew it, I'd totally forgotten about. Like, I knew the whole Sergei thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the whole Konstantinov angle to it. How he was a captain in the Red Army. So they were afraid to talk to him because they thought they'd turn him in. And then when they finally did, Konstantinov like, yeah, if I can take my wife and kid with me, I'm all for going.
Yeah, he speaks really good English.
Right.
No, I think if he wouldn't have never gotten that limo accident, I think they would have fucking kept winning the Stanley Cups.
They just brought that up on the ticket today.
Oh, really?
They were playing What If, and they said, what if that limo accident wouldn't have happened?
Wow.
Would the Red Wings have won more cups than they did?
Fuck yes. And then they get Pavel Datsyuk later. Wow.
Well, the one that's forgotten about is Kozlov.
Yeah, he's good too.
They were courting him. The Red Wings were courting him when he was still like 14.
Wow.
Anyways, what I was bringing up about the whole sports thing was, what do you think about, say, Las Vegas and the odds makers, quote unquote, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the mob, and fixing games?
Oh, I'm sure it happens. It's just there's too much coincidence. How do they cover the spread more than not? Right?
Well, Vegas always wins, even when they lose.
Right. That's why the Raiders are going to be sweet.
Okay, Pat.
What the fuck is Detroit Lions drafting? I mean, get a fucking cornerback and the fucking third pick? I wanted Lionel Simmons, I think his name was, the Clemson dude.
Yep.
That's who I would have took. Fuck that. You can get a cornerback. They suck. They're so pathetic.
I wanted Tua Tagovailoa.
What's that?
So I wanted Tua Tagovailoa, but what am I?
You did?
Yeah.
Because you got a fucking hip.
What have you
I
heard?
haven't heard that. 45 and saying that shit now.
Well, it's better than being 51 and saying it, so it is what it is.
Is it better, man? Is it?
It doesn't really matter, I guess.
I'm just kidding.
Before, when we kind of teased this episode last time, you'd mentioned the FBI and the CIA. Did they make...
Say that again? Oh, yeah. CIA, all the alphabet fucking groups.
So the FBI, the CIA, the KGB.
KGB, the fucking Mossad. They're all secrets. Everything that's in secret is probably not good for any of us.
Do you think that they control everything behind the scenes and then just sort of step out when they have to, or?
No, I don't think they control everything. I don't think they control the president. You? I think maybe, well, okay, China's Communist Party, they control everything over there. And probably most of the shit over here too, dude. Supposedly they've been investing in schools, Harvard and all that. China has.
Right.
You hear that?
Right.
That's crazy. So they're just running everything over here.
Well, they own half of this country now, so.
Right.
And
it's unreal.
That goes back to your corporate greed. Corporations will take money for anything, and the next thing you know, it's like, here's China saying, well, thank you, we own this now.
And they got good English too.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'll say about other countries is they make their children educated.
Well, don't they make some of their children like China? If you're not a boy, you're not. Well, they're not going to make it. So the person that talked about the Las Vegas shooting was talking about K-pop. You know what that is, right?
I do.
She said there's something going on with that, like they're forced to do stuff. I'm sure they are.
Well, I'm sure that happens here too. Maybe not to the extent in Korea, but
new kids.
Well, just think about all those kids groups that you hear how after when they get all grown up, they call whining about being molested and everything. And
that's what I'm telling you, Dan. That's what the big deal is, brother. You know what I mean? That's the main. Little Macaulay Culkin wasn't home alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he turned out all right. At least he's got a hot woman right now.
Well, turned out all right.
Well, he's a nutbag, but
$40 million when I was 8. I think I'd come out a lot better than what he was doing.
No, when he's
free, he doesn't have to work, I guess.
No, when you were 8, you got a king size Snickers and a squirt from me. I mean, Doug.
How you doing? Now, Macaulay Culkin, he actually did a video with that had to do with pizza.
Right.
Like him and a bunch of his friends, a bunch of weirdos, get together and they were making songs about pizza, but it was like a weird song. But, you know, the pizza thing.
Right.
Everybody loves pizza.
Hey, pizza is good. Just depends on.
I think everybody loves it. Don't they? Right?
So you think next time you want to talk about the mass shootings? I guess we can
we can do that.
We can call it mass shootings.
Trying to get everybody's Second Amendment. But I mean, people they really haven't gone at total guns yet, but they're, you know, when New Orleans had their the hurricane, wasn't little, sorry, New Orleans, you're listening.
Right.
That they were getting guns. They were coming for their guns. You know what I mean?
Right.
They busted an old lady down and like broke her wrist or something because she wouldn't leave her house or something like that. You hear about Rogan by any chance?
Well, depends on what you mean by heard about Rogan.
Right. He just signed a big deal with Spotify, so only his podcast can be on Spotify, like multi-million-dollar deal.
Hey, so we were on Spotify before Joe Rogan?
I doubt it, but if we were, we are. Probably.
No, we're on Spotify. We've been on Spotify since we started.
I think he's been on it. I just think that now he's just on Spotify, or gonna be, or something.
Oh, okay. So he's getting paid by Spotify.
Yes, like Big Bang.
Well, that's definitely not us.
We're next.
No, we're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We are on YouTube, Stitcher, Transistor.
What is Stitcher?
Stitcher is a podcast catcher.
Mm.
See, we're all over the place. All you have to do is Google conspiracy Beerists, and a whole list will pop up of where we're available at.
That's awesome. Google and YouTube are, Google owns YouTube, I guess, so Google's quite good.
I mean, I can let you know right now how many YouTube views we have, but if I can get my...
You might as well let the audience know what they've been watching.
I mean, they've been just listening to drunk guys talk is what they've been watching, listening to.
Yeah. Drunk, fucking mouthy. Don't listen to it while your kids are around.
Well, we do.
This would be episode 13, is it, or 14?
I think this is 14.
It's only getting better with beers.
Sweet. Okay, total 13 episodes, total all-time downloads 1,608. Holy
hell.
Right.
I've clipped that motherfucker 1,600 times?
Yep.
That's crazy, though. Let's see. Thank you. We couldn't have done that without y'all.
Yeah, we could. As long as we have beer. We're fine.
Yeah, all right.
All right, so next time we'll dive into the mass shootings. If there's any out there that anybody wants us to talk about, let us know on Facebook on our page at Conspiracy Beerist. Or there's been comments on YouTube that I'm terrible at checking. I should set you up so you can. You're on YouTube more than I am. I should put your name on it.
I'm on YouTube more than fucking anybody. We also probably should look into 5G one of these days.
What's 5D?
5G, like not 4G, but 5G for your phone.
Right.
We'll see. Ever since the COVID hit, they've been people have been bitching saying that because it's microwaves and it can go inside your body. But they say that since COVID hit, they've been putting shit in the schools. Like this was part of the reason they did COVID, to get people out of school and fucking load 5G. But there are pictures where there's a tree next to one of these little towers they got, and the side that the tower's on, there's no leaves, but the side that it's not on, there's leaves. And people are destroying them. So I don't know, maybe one day we'll talk about 5Gs.
That's been a thing for a long time about microwaves. Back when, I forget what that thing was in Alaska.
Oh, it's HARP.
Yeah, HARP. How they talk.
HAARP.
Right.
It's a weather control thing, they say.
Yeah, but they always talked about how the microwaves would just fry people's brains.
Yeah. They could, I guess. Not mine, hopefully.
Yeah, we can get into that.
There was a Smurfs episode a while ago. And they created weather, and they had a weather machine, right? So one of them's like, "No, we're gonna have a picnic today, and we're gonna have sunny." And he fucking flicks a switch, and it goes to sunny. And then one guy goes, "Well, let's make it rain." And he fucking clicks a switch, and it makes it rain. Well, at the end of the whole thing, one of those fucking Smurfs is playing a harp. That's crazy, isn't it? Do you think that's not fucked up?
Hey, I mean,
that's predictive programming.
Cartoons always had subliminal political statements in it.
Yes, there's the Monsters Inc.
Right.
It's got, like, I think the O on Monsters is an I, and the one friend monster is an I. But what they do, dude, on Monsters Inc., they scare kids to get this chemical. So I can't remember what the chemical does. It does something, okay? But the chemical, when you scare a kid, is adrenochrome. That's the chemical that comes out of their pineal gland. So that's what they're talking about, these fucking bastards.
That's even been back as far as, like, Alice in Wonderland taking the taking the pill or whatever. I mean, even
the what?
Jefferson Airplane talked about it in White Rabbit. It's like one pill
White
makes
Rabbit,
you...
that's what it is. That's what it's called. Because I don't know if it's called a chromosome thing, where it's like a pattern of the chromosomes in it.
Right.
And it's a rabbit, and it's White Rabbit. And that's what they call it. Damn, Dan, you were on fucking top of it today, Jefferson Airplane.
Hey, you know me. I know music.
You built this fucking city is what it is.
Well, maybe not on rock and roll, but on something.
But there's a picture when that big blue monster's coming out of one of those clouds, where on the side of them there's a notebook picture with stick figures, but it's a guy doing a girl doggy style on it, and it's like a quick subliminal for everyone.
Well, what's wrong with that?
They're stick figures.
Again, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with dog style.
No, there's not. No.
Snoop Dogg. Dog the dog. Anyways.
Dog.
All right, so next time we'll talk about school shootings or mass shootings, I guess. And
false flag shootings, we'll say.
False flag shootings, we'll call it.
Because, I mean, people do actually get hurt and killed, but it's always, I mean, not every time, I don't think, because Sandy Hook's kind of fucking different. But these other ones, like Las Vegas, people did get killed, and God rest their souls. They're in Sin City and fucking got shot by more than one guy. And the whole thing is always one shooter, so we'll talk about that next time.
Any other final thoughts for everybody out there?
No, just do your research and have a beer.
If you have any thoughts about this episode of Conspiracy Beerists, let us know on our YouTube or Facebook page at Conspiracy Beerists. And until next time, remember, the truth is out there. You just have to know where to look.
WLLP Spock Rock Radio.